amazing to have you here. Dr. Hering, as renewable supply for electricity rises and fluctuates, we also see that old sort of fossil-driven energy systems sort of struggle to also maintain that grid stability that is needed. What would you say are the most important and most urgent measures to sort of future-proof grids in that sense?
In the past, grid stability has been one of the key arguments of the fossil lobby to actually deter the renewable energy build-out, largely on fast grounds.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's also clear that those rules developed 50 years ago to dispatch flexible generators are no longer sufficient to govern the build-out of a largely renewable-dominated energy system.
Right.
In some countries, we also see a very expensive build-out of grids, which in a way is also poison for competitive electricity prices. But there are cures available, and let me just highlight one. Just an hour north of Berlin, we operate a 1 gigawatt so-called Verbundkraftwerk, which collects wind and solar energy from a very vast area.
Okay.
And before the energy is injected into the grid, the variability is actually largely absorbed by electrolyzers and battery storages. Re-electrifying the green hydrogen produced by the electrolyzer makes electricity available also at times when the wind or the sun doesn't shine, and the batteries actually provide system services.
Yeah.
And the overall plant allows to utilize the transmission system in a much more efficient way, and thus lowers cost for customers overall, which we believe is of essence.
Yeah. So if I hear correctly what you're saying, you're also saying it's 50 years ago, a lot has changed. You're saying in a way that current markets then don't really reflect the value of these sort of like flexibility sources that we have. You named some examples. What would you then say are like the most critical regulatory changes needed to make sure that, you know, we do embody the value of those flexibility sources and that we do create a more investment-friendly environment for these so-called new technologies?
Well, first of all, currently we experience in Germany a very market-driven, very fast build-out of large-scale storage systems, but also home storage systems.
Yeah.
And this is a development which we find very encouraging. And while we appreciate this development on the storage side, if we look at Power-to-X, there are two major obstacles that need to be overcome and need to be resolved. One, it's clear that there's no FID without enough demand certainty.
Right.
And for that we see financial CFDs provided by governments or internationally by DFIs that come along with Eurobankability as one of the key solutions that we need. This would also unlock massive development potential. Secondly, grid access. Cost-reflective pricing of grid access and usage is absolutely key also to lower costs to customers. And at the end of the day, competitive energy prices is what we need for industry. And that's why this is also a very important point to be resolved.
Yeah, I mean, those are some very tangible and concrete solutions. We need all of them because we also know that we have made the pledge sort of as a global community to triple renewable energy sources by 2030. So in that sense, new legislation is key, new measures that are needed, international cooperation as well. Regarding the latter, when we talk about international cooperation and sort of that journey towards tripling renewable energy sources, what are the lessons that ENERTRAG has sort of learned from its projects across different markets?
Well, first of all, from our perspective, mutual cooperation is actually key. And it's important that 1 + 1 is actually more than 2.
Right.
And let me just give you one example. If I look at our 10 billion euro green ammonia project in Namibia called Hyphen, if we look at that, it's clear that this is a totally unprecedented economic development opportunity for Namibia. At the same time, it's also a huge challenge in terms of the availability of skilled labor, in terms of availability of regional infrastructure. For the past 3 years, we have worked alongside the Namibian government in a truly partnership approach, jointly working each on our side, progressing that project. And on the private sector side, there are some good examples where we have companies like the Port of Rotterdam that provides invaluable expertise in terms of harbor development. Additionally, we also see international EPCs and suppliers that increasingly are willing to share also development risks. On the other hand, extensive political support, especially on the EU side, needs to translate much faster into concrete action.
Right.
Especially at these times, Team Europe is more needed than ever.
Yeah.
In business, we know that time is money, yeah, but not so seemingly in the world of DFIs. So if it takes half a year to get a legal opinion on a state auction, which has been vetted twice before by other DFIs, this means actually losing money instead of obtaining strategic support.
Right.
Thus, building new solutions, investing our time and money into the energy transition can sometimes be a tough endeavor.
Yeah.
But imagine what we can achieve if we all join forces in becoming faster and more effective. Our world actually needs it, and this is actually my call to action.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, those are incredible examples of cross-border collaboration. And I think your plea towards the end is loud and clear, right? We need to go faster, and sometimes that also means losing some of the bureaucracy around it. Thank you so much, Dr. Gunar Hering. It was a pleasure to have you here.